visually and on the court in production in the first half and the second half on offense. It just looked completely night and day in terms of spacing and efficiency.
Yeah, I think we were kind of back in that deja vu in the sense of being in Atlanta. First half, we defensively were right there. We got off to a very slow start, but I thought mentally we stayed in the game, and then that second half, we talked about it. We were right back in Atlanta. We come out at halftime, and we got the same shots, wide open shots, and they went down again against a very talented team in Toronto. They caused so many turnovers for us to only have 9. The last 2 games they've had 23 and 25, and then offensive rebounding. We talked about that, and we gave up 11, but they crashed the boards as well as anybody, and I thought we did a really good job there. Um, Timmy got us going on the offensive end. Um, I think the bank opened up the basket, and then everybody started sharing the ball, knocking down open shots.
In terms of spacing, and it looked like there were some more like high ball screens, some easier kickouts. Was there any like specific changes or specific focuses you guys made in the second half that made things a lot easier for you?
No, we have a very talented player in Luca who starts everything, and so with him at the top, and being able to read who's open, he understands. He's a great quarterback, and so guys were setting screens higher, trying to give him some airspace, and he was aggressive. I know he probably felt like he could have made a couple more baskets, but I thought he played a really good game. He found the open guy. He looked at the basket when he had an opportunity to score. So I thought he had an incredible game. Uh-huh.
Okay, we'll move to Zoom. Kevin Gray.
Kevin Gray, 105 through the fan. Jason, 15 points off of turnovers tonight. Guys forced 12 turnovers on the Raptors. What was the biggest turnaround defensively, especially in the second half?
Just our activity in preseason, and in the first half of the Atlanta game, our activity, our hands, executing the game plan, helping one another. Again, trying to. Toronto's going to shoot a lot of threes. I thought OG was not going to miss a three tonight, but I thought the adjustments we made at halftime. Uh, Again, I'm going to say it mentally. We didn't just give in to the physical play, and we came out and we made open shots, and we caused the problem. Again, KP, I thought when he came back in after he came out, his activity defensively, blocking shots and spreading the floor, I thought he looked great. And so we got a lot of guys, who maybe I haven't mentioned. Dorian, again, defensively, taking the challenge on the best offensive player. He set the tone for us in that second half.
Okay, Tim Cato.
Yeah, Jason, I saw that you used Maxey briefly as the lone big man. I think that was in the third quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, Brunson ended up subbing in, but he was the lone big man in a closing lineup. What did you like about Maxey in both of those situations?
I just love that Max is a team guy. He can play any position on the floor and guard any player. He causes a problem on the offensive end due to his shooting, but also he can put the ball on the floor in the decision making. And so to have him out there, with the 4 mediums, it helps us because again, the floor spacing for us is big, and when we have JB or LD handling the ball, causing a problem, they find the open guy.
Nick.
Hey, Coach. Reggie Bullock was the big free agency addition this offseason, and he hasn't played more than 17 minutes the first couple of games. I'm curious, is he limited by something right now, or is there another reason why, or your thoughts on why he's not a bigger part of the rotation?
Well, to answer your question, honestly, we've only played 2 games. So would you like him to play 24 minutes, or how would you like to see it?
I'm just curious if he was limited by anything, or if he was.
No,
There was any other.
no. It's this is an early journey, um, and you have to be patient. A famous player said this. This is an instant oatmeal. This is going to take time to cook, and so I have to apologize that you felt that he should have played more.
Okay, one more, Ian.
Hey, Coach, Ian, A to Z Sports.com. Coming back in this league is a difficult task. What type of resilience does it take for a team to come back after the onslaught Toronto had in that first quarter, and then to flip the game completely in the second half?
Yeah, I think it's, chemistry and accountability. Things that we've talked about, character, trust in one another. That group in there, they've been together. They've been through battles. It's a 48-minute game. You don't lose the game in the first 3 minutes or the first 6 minutes. And it just showed early in the season. We were tested in Atlanta and we didn't respond well. And I thought the guys responded well here tonight on the road. One of the big things in this league, it's hard to win in this league. And so to win on the road, that's big. It's not that you're just given the win by showing up. You got to play the game.
Hey, Luca. It seemed like in the first half you were frustrated at times and just couldn't, as a group, quite get it going. What was particularly bothering you in the first half, and how did you overcome that after halftime?
I think our defense wasn't the best in the first half. It wasn't that good. But in the second half, we stayed together. We picked it up. Not like the first game. So I think that was the key. And from defense, we go to offense, and that really step our offense.
How did it feel to see Goran again?
Oh, it's great. It's always great to see him. He's my guy, so it's always amazing to see him.
Did it feel a little bit like Eurobasket with Igor here too this time?
Yeah. I remember those days. Those were great days, great days. And, we won the championship.
Okay, we'll go to Zoom. Chuck Cooperstein.
Hey, Luca. It seemed like maybe even in the second quarter, when especially after Barnes and Achua went out of the game, that the game started to turn a little bit for you. But it seemed like you guys were able to keep your composure better, even when shots weren't falling. That you were still able to run your stuff. You didn't turn it over, and you kept guarding people.
Yeah, I think that was the key. I remember the first game. We didn't make shots. Our energy wasn't there, and that shouldn't happen. And I think today, like I say, we stayed together. We pushed each other, and that was the key to the win.
Okay, Kevin Gray.
Kevin Gray, 105 through the fan. Luca, in that third quarter, you and Tim Hardaway combined for 21 points there. What was the difference defensively, and what got you guys going offensively in that third quarter there?
Like I say, our defense. We step at our defense. From defense we went to offense, and that's the best game plan you can have. If we play good defense, even if you don't make shots, you gotta stay with the energy and play.
Okay, we'll do two in Spanish. Pedro.
Thank you. Luca, buenas noches. ¿A qué atribuyes la victoria de esta noche y qué crees que hicieron mejor a diferencia del partido inaugural ante Atlanta?
Bueno, como dije, el primer tiempo creo que no encontramos buenos tiros, pero no metimos. Para empezar el tercer cuarto, creo que estuvimos juntos y creo que eso fue la clave, ¿no? Y de ahí, a partir de ahí, encontramos mejores tiros y lo metimos.
Okay, one more in Spanish with Eric.
Hola Luca, ¿qué tal? Te saludo, felicidades por el triunfo. ¿Qué se siente sacar este primer triunfo después de haber tenido un muy mal partido hace un par de días? Y háblame de la comunicación que tuvieron hoy, viniendo otra vez después de estar abajo en el marcador, remontar este juego.
Bueno, habrá malos partidos, habrá buenos partidos. Creo que el primero fue muy malo, pero bueno, tenemos un entrenador nuevo, el coaching staff creo que, hay muchos nuevos, así que todavía tenemos mucho tiempo para encontrarnos. Hay 82 partidos, así que algún partido estará malo y alguno bueno.
Sounds good. Yeah, Tim, what changed for you, but then for the entire offensive approach from the first half to the second half? It seemed almost like night and day from what you guys were doing in terms of spacing and efficiency.
I think just coming out more aggressive. Most importantly, just wanted to set the tone and pressure the ball full court, just as they were doing in the whole game. So just wanted to come out at halftime, set a tone, and we're in a situation before 2 days ago. So down at halftime, and just wanted to come out and have a really great third quarter.
Any Sorry.
ahead, please.
Any chance that Pops is in the crowd with you?
No,
playing so
not
well?
this time. Not this time. No. Mm-mm.
How satisfying is that to kind of turn around what happened to you guys in Atlanta and see positive results in a game like this?
It just shows growth in our group. Coach Kidd said before the game, great teams, they don't lose two in a row, and they find a way to win, especially in hard situations. So we just wanted to make sure that we finished strong and played hard on both ends of the floor, and didn't want to question ourselves after the game if we did enough to to pull off a victory.
Okay, we'll move to Zoom. Chuck Cooperstein.
Hey, Tim, the fact that you guys did stay with it defensively tonight, especially after a bad start, bad game in Atlanta. I mean, from that standpoint, just how important was it for you guys just to stay with the game and sort of let things happen before, so you could ultimately get yourselves together?
I think most importantly, just weathering the storm. We knew that coming in, they were coming off a back-to-back, so they also are in a tough situation as well. Just playing a back-to-back, and they all play hard. I'm talking about the Raptors, so you gotta give them credit where credit is due, and that's a phenomenal team they got over there. But we just tried to make sure that we weathered the storm, and just wanted to make sure that we up the pressure on both ends of the floor, and just made sure we stayed aggressive throughout the whole entire second half.
I'm good. Thank you.
Hey, Tim, was it maybe just a little extra special, or maybe a little redemption for you, knowing that last year you kind of had a couple of clunkers against this team?
Yeah, I mean, we weren't playing in their building, so it's a different story.
Kevin Gray and 105 through the fan. Tim, that bank shot from about 27 feet, banks open on Saturday night for you, I guess. How did that feel to see that go down, hit 5 straight threes at one point? How big did the basket feel for you at that point?
It was good, but also most importantly, just making sure that I pick my spots. I mean, Luka's running the show. Him and KP are great in that two-man game. So I'm just playing off of those guys and reading the situations, and a lot of those shots were on closeouts, and their breakdown on their defensive end. So just trying to make sure I stayed aggressive, but also shoot the ball with confidence. I know I missed 3, 4, 5 in the first half, but I mean, shoot or shoot.
Describe the spacing and the concepts on that front in this offense versus how you guys played the last couple of years on offense.
It's a little different. It's more, we're using our bigs more. I think we're being more physical too as a team. We're crashing the boards more, getting second opportunities. So yeah, we're trying to be big and play big and use our advantages and our height. And at the same time, as I said before, just trying to find that right balance where we don't clog up the paint for our guards to be able to drive and kick and have that game. So it's going to be a work in progress. We're just getting started playing together, and it's not going to be every game is not going to be perfect now, but we'll see how we look, for example, by Christmas.
Do you feel like you kind of found that balance, at least for a little while in the third quarter? It just seemed like everything was almost like night and day. It just flowed a lot easier for you guys.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're also, all the teams are realizing that the refs are letting us play. The refs are letting us play more physical. So we're getting used to that, and we're not getting all the little calls, and we just got to sprint back on defense. And I think yes, as the more we play together, the better our offense is going to start to look. It's our second game together at this intensity, and tonight we had some moments where we looked decent, and I believe it's only going to get better with time. Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to Zoom for a couple. Kevin Gray.
Kevin Gray, 105 through the fan. KP, make sure you tell Conor McGregor that you can take a punch with that left eye there. So, tonight, 4 blocks for you. Obviously, not a great shooting night, but can you talk about the importance of staying locked in defensively with the 4 blocks, 10 rebounds, and the steal tonight?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be a presence, and J. Kidd is putting me on guys that are playing closer to the rim, so I'm able to help my teammates in blocking shots and also just contesting shots. You're not gonna block every shot, but if the opposite team, if you can make the opposite team miss, that's huge for us. And I'm just trying to be as active as I can, and that's it.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Hola KP, te saluda Leonardo Torres desde Perú. Felicidades por la victoria.
Gracias.
¿Qué crees que cambió de la derrota frente a Atlanta a este partido? ¿Cuál crees que fue la clave?
¿Cuál fue la qué, perdón?
La clave.
La clave, sí. A ver, no hemos tenido una gran noche en ataque, pero hemos seguido jugando bien en defensa, duros, reboteando. La segunda parte, sobre todo, no hemos tenido tantas pérdidas de valor. Y al final, pues, hemos metido algo y hemos podido ganar el partido. Ellos han metido ¿cuántos puntos? 95. Así que nuestra defensa está en donde tiene que estar. En el momento cuando nuestro ataque suba al mismo nivel de defensa, vamos a estar muy bien.